Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Good afternoon, good day. Again, it's my pleasure to be with you this Wednesday. I want to talk with you about the topic of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, giving thanks and appreciation for good deeds done by the benefactor. Good deeds being done ultimately by the Eternal One and those of the humankind. I want to start off with something a little light this afternoon regarding Thanksgiving, showing gratitude for favors being done, and how the recipient responds when that good deed is done. Just less than a couple of years ago, I was in a meeting, a ministerial council meeting, and I had left the bank earlier taking care of some business. And so I looked in my wallet because I needed to deal with some financial matters. And lo and behold, there was $50, a $50 bill missing. Now, I don't know how many of you would feel that wouldn't really matter, just go on about your business, but hello, Brother Timothy Moffett. But I'm still used to keeping track of the few dollars I had. So I was trying to dumbfound. I said, well, now how would this come up missing when I've taken care of my wallet? And I thought about the car, and so I said, well, when I leave here, I'll check the car. I knew I had it when I left home. Check the car, and I checked the time because the bank that I had conducted business would be closing within about 20 minutes. And so I said, well, the only thing left to do is to go to the bank. I backtracked. I went to the bank where I conducted business on a regular basis. So remember now that there's a scripture saying that we are to rely on faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Well, I was really seeking $50, but I was seeking the Lord at the same time. And my friends, guess what happened? In these modern times, Went back to the bank, and the lady who waited upon me knew exactly what I was there for. Someone had returned the $50 bill, and left it with the person who had waited upon me. Now, do you think I was happy? Oh, I was delighted. Do you think I was thankful? I wish I could have seen the person who returned the $50. I must have dropped it on the floor as I was, carrying out my business. But this person, I am sure, had been given so many great deeds and shown so many kindnesses that the person didn't have to see me. The invisible God placed his hands upon her or him, and kindness was done, and I wasn't even there. Aren't we serving a mighty God? Amen. That's the first time anything like that happened. Person left the $50, knowing it was not his or her, left it with the accident clerk, or the person handling the affairs. Was waiting for me. Thanksgiving. Somebody had me in mind. There's a song that goes that way. The Lord wanted me to have a good day, wanted me to finish my day with gladness. And I thank God for how he showed his kindness in allowing that money to get back into my hands. Now, let's move on from there. And we want to continue deliberating upon Thanksgiving. Now, I believe, my friends, that as we conduct our business and give our thanks, there's an art to it. And there's also a spiritual base to all of this. Now, yesterday, I was talking about my dear mother. We never, call our mothers by their first names. At least in our culture, we wouldn't do that. Only time I used first name was when I went to school and somebody asked me what her name was. Then I would give the name. But we called her my dear. And she was walking, as I shared yesterday, down the street in all that snow. And I didn't let you know this, that after she gave birth to her fourth child, the son, she then gave birth to a fifth child 3 years later. Very happy about that. My father and my mother were very delighted. But you know what happened after that? The next year, thereabout, a son was born, stillborn. Then the year after that, just about, a little bit, another son was born, stillborn. 2 brothers. Now, what do you think? Yes, there was sadness all around, but my mother and father and we, as much as we could, gave thanks to God for the 5 children who were yet alive. Paul reminds us that we are to give thanks in everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus. Now, not everything is so pretty, so delightful that we're going to give thanks for something that's not, does not show the brilliance and the magnificence of God, and can be rather troubling. Wars are troubling. It's very difficult to be in a thankful mood when you're engulfed in war, both physical and internal. Brother Montgomery, every act of kindness that occurs in the world is a reflection of God's infinite mercy. That is absolutely so. Absolutely so. And in the scriptures, there's a story of a lady who had been shown kindness by the prophet. They were about to have her and her sons to be put out of the house because they owed the debt. And the prophet came by and assured them that they had enough going on within their hands, a little oil and what have you. And they went and sold it until there was no more. The oil kept multiplying. And then after that, they had enough money to pay the debtors. And she was delighted. And she came to the man of God and said, and he said to her, go sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on the rest. You know, the act of kindness is noted by God. It's noted by God. Before Elijah could get out the door, hardly. One day he was on his way, and he was going to Shunem, and a wealthy woman lived there, and she urged him to come in and eat and dine. So whenever he was going that way, he would turn in there to eat food. She understood that this was a man of God, and he wasn't looking, he wasn't asking for this, but that's how God shows his mercy. See, God showed that there was thanksgiving in place because of what he had done for this widow woman. You don't have to do anything but just move in the realm of his kingdom. Show kindness where kindness is due. God will do the rest. So this lady was wealthy. She didn't need anything, materially speaking, from the prophet. So she talked to her husband, and that was one of the things I want to share with you. She didn't go about her business without talking to her husband who lived there and said, you know, wouldn't it be all right if we built a little small room and on the roof with walls and put a bed and a table and a chair and a lamp for him so that when he comes, he can go in there? And the husband agreed. And so one day he came and he was able to rest after he had worked. And he said to his servant, you know, call this Shunammite because her kindness, certainly there's something that I might do for him. I can maybe speak to the king on her behalf, you see, or the commander of the army. So that was done. And she said, you know, I really don't have anything of that sort, but you know, there's a child. The servant found that out. You know, husband's older, and that was the desire. You see, some people don't need money. Really, I mean, they need it, but what I'm saying is that that's not at the top of the list. This is a wealthy woman, but she had no son. We always need something from the Lord, even the wealthy. Tell some wealthy person that there's something that you still may need. And all wealthy persons do need what I'm going to get at in a few minutes. Now, so because of the kindness that this lady showed, there was this connection to the prophet. And it didn't take long for God to intercede. And shortly thereafter, about a season later, she and her husband had a child. What a great, great gift. God thanked the man of God for his service, so that this woman could then finish out her life with joy, she and her husband. That's what happened with this Thanksgiving measure. Now, I want to talk with you about how to show your appreciation. There are folks who think it's old-fashioned after you get a birthday gift, uh, uh, gift regarding your graduation, something regarding your wedding. You've been married and you get all these gifts. You say, well, it should be understood that I'm thankful. Not all people have that kind of understanding. It's still in vogue to get away even from the computer and the smartphone and those electronic messages and do someone good and keep the post office employees working and the stores, bookstores and dollar stores with employees who are being paid. Go there and get some cards. Don't have to have anything on them. You just say thank you, and you fill them in with your own words. And let each person who gives you a gift know. It may take a while sometimes, but write it out. Don't worry about how it looks. Just write it out. Tell them thank you so much for that gift. Candy, a necktie, a book. Thank you. Thank you for the wedding gift, the knives and forks, whatever it might be. Thank you Thank you for coming. Thank you. I wish you all of the blessings upon you throughout your life. It was so kind of you. May God bless you always. Won't you do that, my friends? Won't you do that? That will ensure that the person who gave the gift will feel even more enthused about the giving of gifts. You know, today I'm still excited about men and women, boys and girls who open the doors for others. Just the other day, someone kept the door open. There were people going in, relatives going in before me. And I was waiting for this individual to just go in and I'll hold the door then. No, she begged me to go in, and she would come in last. What could I do but give her a hearty thank you? Thank somebody for opening the door. And they're now doing the way that the young men and older men are opening doors for men and women. And I thank God somebody's training them. It's wonderful. So don't take these little things. These are not little. These are big gestures. Opening the door. Tell the person thank you right there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you've done. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, my friends. Anybody out there interested in being like this Shumanite woman, wanted to do something for somebody who has rendered a service, or you want to give the service? Yeah, you want to be someone who can do a kind deed for others. That's all a part of this Thanksgiving process. There's an art to it. Now, I wanted to thank my wife for her kindness shown to me this morning. I gave her a little love tap just to remind her of her kindness toward me. I have to do that deliberately. But you know what? I have to share this with you. When I do that, there's great joy that emanates from her. So some of you, I'll let it be with the married men, but of course there are other there are men who are courting and that kind of thing. But I'll deal with the married men. It's never too late. Never too late. Never too late to give that Valentine's box of candy. So then this person is left to give you thanks. Thank you for the candy. Now, you might think that's someone says that's big stuff. That when you give a box of good candy, I mean, there be some really good candy, you're going to get thanks. I guarantee you. And when you receive those thanks, you say, that's okay. Well, thank you. Now, I want to visit Chicago again. Some years in the 90s, I and several, at that time, fairly young men, went to a conference in Chicago, actually Moody. It's called Moody Bible College. And it's located not too far from Michigan Avenue, which is an avenue that runs all the way through Chicago. Majestic stores, one after another. Well, at least at that time. And so we were there, and it was a guest speaker, a young man. And as he began talking, we were enthralled by his witness. Enthralled. We were captivated. Now, why? Well, we noticed that he was giving thanks. He was giving thanks. He was married, he said. And he said, I'm thankful. And before that, he said he had, gone to school and graduated and gotten his degree. He was thankful. Then he got married, thankful. And he was so thankful for the 3 children that he and his wife had. We were enthralled, excited. Why? Because he had he didn't mention that, he just stated that I am who I am, and we noticed. He had cerebral palsy. Didn't stop him. He was moving a little bit here and there. He said, but because we thought that you might be there. No, that's just the beginning, he said. What I'm really here for, I'm just giving you a description of my life. Everybody needs to know something about an individual, but that's not really why I'm here to tell you that the thing I'm most thankful for is that I got a chance to meet somebody who told me who I was and what I needed. And after I found out, he informed me that I could be rescued eternally and that my life would be secure by seeking and deciding upon him. He was talking about the Christ. He said, when I received his spirit, and he used the word, and was redeemed and born again, that was what made me excited. That's why I'm happy now. Yes, I talked about my wife. I talked about my career. I talked about my 3 children. But I'm excited that I know him. Is there anybody out there who shares that testimony with that young man? Yes. Yes, he overcame his physical disabilities, but that was all right. But he was excited about his standing with the eternal one, with God. Anybody out there? Are you thankful? Are you thankful? Are you truly thankful? Well, tell someone who knows you better than anyone else. There's someone who knew you and knew me before we were formed in our mother's womb. Are you listening? He knows everything about you. And yet he continues to bless you. He wants you to receive the greatest gift that you could ever receive. And he's saying, don't be like those 9 lepers who received healing from the Christ of the leprosy. And he sent them on their way to be examined by the priests. There were 10 who were healed, but only one came back to give the Christ thank you. And he made note of that. So I'm saying, let's be like the Samaritan, and give God right now his just due. Tell him, thank you for waking me up again. Thank you for imparting your spirit into me again. Thank you for rejuvenation, for new life. And then there are some who can go further and can share with anyone who would ask. Just like that young man in Chicago. I thank God that I am now his son by way of Christ. I am redeemed. I'm saved. I'm converted. I'm not like the old man I used to be, old woman. I'm here to give God thanks because I know how to be thankful. And to whom I ought to give thanks. I give the Lord thanks. Then it automatically says, I'm going to give people thanks for all the kind deeds they do. Tell your mother, thank you for the bread she just made, the apple pie. Tell her, thank you. And for giving me a few clothes to wear and praying for me. Thank you. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Thank you, brother, sister, for walking to school with me, keeping me safe. Meeting someone who can lead us to Christ is the most exciting and memorable experience indeed. I'm thankful as well. Someone will lead you to Christ. Just hold on. Someone will do that. Somehow it will be done. And you will have the best life you could ever think of. I'm thankful today. You're looking at a young man, you know. I told you when I was married the year yesterday, I'm not ashamed. It's 1966, but I'm still standing. Somebody said I'm doing pretty well, and doing all right. Well, thanks be to God. Brother Muffet, I'm thankful of my life, of my family, of my community, and of Christ. What a testimony, Mr. Muffet. What a testimony. God bless you. That's awesome. That's awesome. We're in the business of giving thanks. Well, let me say this. I've got a few themes. Gratitude and thanksgiving makes a huge difference. So thank you goes a long way. I see that on the screen. I want you to know also that I have this book, Thrifty Thoughts for the Day. Thrifty Thoughts for the Day. And I would encourage you to buy it and then go check out the books. We have Amazon and Barnes and Noble. But I want you to go to Barnes and Noble because you can get the soft cover or the paper bound, and it's well, I think it's a good price. It's cheaper than the hard cover, and you'll see that. I want you to go to check it out, Barnes and Noble. You'll find this book there as well. Start there first. Let me recommend it that you start there. Barnes and Noble, Thrifty Thoughts for the Day. Get to know the author even further. Get this book. I want you to learn about the bounty of God. Get this book. You have added to your other books. Thrifty thoughts for the day. Thrifty thoughts for today. Miss LaVale, if we are if we are to truly embody the teaching of Christ, I didn't get quite that thought, but we're closing out, and let us be grateful today. Let us be mindful of what it is that God has done for us today and throughout our lives. Remember now, we share your story with the whole world. I'm looking forward to being with you tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about freedom. Tell somebody that we'll be talking about freedom. Hit that link, and I've shared it with some others as well. And we look forward to communicating with you and sharing this good news about freedom. We talk a little bit about it in the book. So this will give you a head start. And again, remember that it's God who is due all thanks. All things. Start today, in the night, giving him thanks. And then bridge the gap with thanks in the middle. Thanks be unto our God. It's been good talking with you. I'm excited about the art of Thanksgiving. I want to be a little even more instrumental in doing this, and particularly with those close to me. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing to show your gratitude all day long. Been good being with you, sharing with you, letting you know I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for you. I trust that your day will end well, and tomorrow, should it come, that you'll give all of the glory, all of your obeisance, and all of your thanks unto the majestic King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the mighty God. Thank you. Thank you. The Prince of Peace. Thank you. We need peace. Thank you for peace. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you.